we see that present in every large urban market today, whether you're in San Francisco or Austin, you see autonomous cars driving around. That is all about harnessing the power of AI. So in our generation, in the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to be sitting in this cars that is making everyday decisions using all the intelligence that it is getting and making decisions on which turn it's going to take, where it's going to stop, and all those things.
The overarching theme of the times that we live in, artificial intelligence, as I always say, the thickening envelope of AI around the way we work, the way we live, the way we communicate. Now that it's no longer in the realm of science fiction, and we have intelligent models in our phones and our PCs, we are editing images, we are summarizing PDF documents and whatnot. How do you really see AI developing, and what's your take on the broader landscape that we are building towards?
Yeah, I would say every question, every interview has to start with AI these days, because obviously it is the force that's reshaping, I would say, all our lives and the world around us. And, I'll talk about AI in a few different forms. At Flex, the important thing is the end markets that we participate in are usually around automotive, healthcare, consumer end markets, and then, of course, everything around data center infrastructure building. But so if you think about from the consumer viewpoint, you see the change every day, right? Because you're using AI in everyday life these days, whether you search it or whether you're looking for help with different aspects of your life itself. We see that in consumer products that we manufacture, that AI is becoming a part of how the consumer interacts with the product itself. But the real transformation, I think, really comes in things like healthcare, which is significant. The large amounts of data that can be enhanced using the ability to generate quick amounts of thesis around healthcare sector is pretty significant. So I'd say healthcare is probably the transformative area that we have barely seen today. So I think that's an important part to focus on. And then, of course, in automotive, we manufacture everything from electric vehicle platforms to everything around autonomous. And, I don't know how much of a topic autonomous is in India now, but in the US, it's a pretty significant conversation, right? Everything around robo taxis. And we see that present in every large urban market today, whether you're in San Francisco or Austin, you see autonomous cars driving around. That is all about harnessing the power of AI, understanding all the data and information that's coming into the vehicle. It's a software-defined vehicle. So in our generation, in the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to be sitting in this cars that is making everyday decisions using all the intelligence that it is getting and making decisions on which turn it's going to take, where it's going to stop, and all those things. So the significance of AI, I would say, in almost every sector, you can start to feel some of those today. But in the industrial sector, let me step back and talk about that for a second. You see that in simple ways. Like, for example, in a factory floor like ours, if you're looking at kind of decision making around quality. So if you're looking at a board, or if you're looking at a product, in the past, you didn't have the ability to harness lots of data real time and make a decision, around machine learning and decide whether this was a good quality product or what was happening with it. It was a little bit of a reactive process. Today, we are able to, include all that machine learning in our day-to-day work around the factory itself, which is a significant example of how we use it today. But I would say there's a lot to be done, Vishal. I think that's important to remember. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, I'm sure, later. In the industrial sector, what has happened over the last 20, 30 years is we've all been sold solutions by enterprise companies that are piecemeal software that we've all integrated into our work, into our factory. And the data doesn't talk to each other. So I'd say AI looks very cool in many areas. It's going to be transformative in many areas, but it's also going to take time in many areas. So I think it is definitely a transformation we're all looking forward to, but there's the practical aspect of it in terms of how much and how fast that we're going to all have to wait and watch.